Let's do this.
Hey, how's it going? And welcome back to Loser Club. Last week we looked at my Netflix top 10 binge watches, so this week I thought it was only right to do the Amazon Prime top 10 binge watches, so stick around. Number 1 on my list this week is Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is one of my all-time favourite comedy shows ever made. It is so funny. It is all about a small town called Pawnee and their local government, specifically the Parks and Recreation Department. Now, there's a great cast in this. There is Rob Lowe comes in the later series. Amy Poehler is one of the main characters. Aziz Ansari, Nick Offerman, loads and loads of people. It's essentially like a kind of mockumentary series. It's done by the same people who did The American Office. It is so well done. It's so funny, following their lives, following the life of the government, the ridiculous situations that they obviously get into. There's 7 seasons of this as well, so it is a proper binge-worthy thing to watch. Really, really recommend this for anybody who loves a good comedy, something like The Office. Number 2 on my list is a series called Lucifer. Now, Lucifer's actually recently moved over to Netflix. It's got the latest season up on Netflix, but the 3 original seasons that they've got are on Amazon Prime, and that's where I first saw it. So, obviously this program is about Lucifer Morningstar, the devil. He actually gets bored of being in hell, so every so often he goes up and lives in he lives on Earth. Recently, he's living in LA and owns and runs a nightclub. He kind of accidentally gets involved with the police, and then it essentially follows him being a kind of assistant to the police. He works with the police to solve cases, and it just follows his time being part of that world. Lucifer is played by Tom Ellis, a British actor who, funnily enough, was in a TV show called Miranda, if anybody's seen that ridiculous British comedy, but he does such a superb job of playing Lucifer. It's such an excellent role. So like I said, 3 seasons of this on Amazon Prime, and then if you have Netflix as well, you can watch the latest season over on there. Really recommend it. It's a superb kind of police drama, really, but it's also really funny. They do such a great job, so please go watch it. Number 3 on my list this week is actually an animated show called Bob's Burgers. Now, I am a massive fan of anything animated. I always loved cartoons when I was a kid and have just grown up still loving them now as well. And I really, really suggest this show for anybody that has a kind of dry humor. It is a very kind of almost dull program in a way, but it is so funny. It follows Bob, who owns a restaurant called Bob's Burgers, and it's just about him and his family and their life owning and running the restaurant. It is so funny. Obviously, if you're a fan of things like Family Guy and South Park, American Dad, any of those kind of animated shows, then this is just another one that you should absolutely be watching. The main character, Bob, is voiced by the guy that does Archer, if anybody's seen that animated show on Netflix, Archer, another brilliant show. But he's so funny. He's just such a funny person. So the way that he does the character is brilliant, and it's a real good watch for anybody that is looking for an animated series, or even if you've never watched an animated series before but are into comedies and that kind of thing. I suggest giving it a watch, because you'd actually be pleasantly surprised by the amount of kind of adult cartoons that do such a good job. Also, there are 9 seasons of this. It's being an animated show, it's one of the shorter ones, so it's about 20 to 25 minutes long each episode, so it's really, really easy to watch loads and loads of episodes without realizing. Number 4 on my list is a show called New Girl. Now, I remember watching the show back when the first trailer came out and just being absolutely in love with it from the start. It was on E4 in England, I think. But it's just such a funny program, such a great idea. It follows the life of a set of people. Originally a girl named Jess, played by Zooey Deschanel. She finds her boyfriend cheating on her, so she breaks up with him, moves out, needs somewhere to live. She goes for an interview at an apartment where a group of guys are living, Nick, Schmidt, and at the time, a character called Coach, who actually left to do another show, so became Winston. Obviously, they end up living with her, they choose to live with her, and it's just about those 4 and their life living together, and it is just a brilliantly done kind of sitcom, very traditional style, but all of the characters are so funny, and as the series go on, their characters just develop into these crazy people that you just can't believe exist. There are 7 seasons of this on Amazon at the moment, so really, really good for people that are looking for a long watch. They're short episodes, but a lot of them as well. Really recommended for someone who is just looking for something a bit funny, you know, something to just kind of pass the time, nothing too serious, maybe even a little bit weird if you're into that kind of thing. Number 5 on my list is a show called Heroes. Now, Heroes is very nostalgic for me, probably quite a lot of other people as well. Was a massive show and it was so good. Cannot recommend this one enough. The idea of the show is that a group of people start to develop superhuman powers, basically, a variety of superpowers as well, and the idea is that they have to then come together to save the world from destruction. They have to come to save other people. Very kind of classic superhero tropes in there, but all of the stories kind of interweave in a certain way, so they all do kind of eventually link together, and it is really good to see develop. It is a fantasy drama, so if you're into that sort of kind of superhero thing, if you're into the Marvel things and everything, then I would 100% suggest this because it is such a fantastically done show. There are 4 seasons of this on Amazon Prime as well, so a lot of watching in there. They're longer episodes because of dramas, they are the kind of 40 minutes kind of range instead. So really recommend this. Please go and watch it because you will not be sorry. Halfway through the video, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please like and subscribe below. Really helps the channel and really helps me as well. Number 6 on the list is a program that actually only has 1 season on Amazon Prime. It is a Prime original and it's called The Boys. Now, I've actually spoken about The Boys before in a previous episode, but I couldn't do a kind of top 10 binge watch without suggesting watching The Boys. The Boys is essentially a kind of anti-superhero TV show, which is a really cool, unique take on it. It is about how all the superheroes are kind of owned by a company called Vought. And they are publicized and marketed to make money from rather than anything else. A kind of ordinary character has something quite bad happen to him and ends up kind of teaming up with a group of mercenaries to try and take down the superheroes. It's a very dark and kind of gruesome show in places, so if you're kind of not really into gore and violence and that kind of stuff, then this show isn't for you. But if you don't mind that and you like the whole kind of superhero idea, then I suggest watching this without a doubt. It is an unbelievably well done show. Such a unique take that really sucked me in instantly. I had to watch it. Like I said, there's only 1 season, there are 8 episodes and they're about an hour long. So realistically, if you're looking for a good day of binge watching something, then this is 100% the show you should watch. Number 7, Modern Family. I feel like I don't really need to say much about this show because if you haven't heard of it, then what on earth are you doing watching TV in the first place? This program is another kind of almost documentary style kind of film. It's much like kind of Arrested Development, that kind of thing, if you've seen that. It just follows the lives of a big family, essentially, all the kind of divided into their own parts, but it's all one big family and about their lives, and it is just so funny. If I'm honest, there's not really much else I can say about it because I just cannot recommend it enough, and I can't describe how brilliant it is without just telling you to just go and watch it. Go and watch it. There's actually 7 seasons as well on Amazon Prime. There are more seasons on there as well, but you have to pay for the last 3 seasons, I think. So the first 7 seasons are actually free on Amazon Prime. Just go and watch it. I cannot tell you enough. Just go and watch it. Number 8 on the list is a program that is probably one of the weirdest programs I've ever watched in my life, but it is very good, and it's called American Gods. Now, one of the main reasons I wanted to watch it was because I read the book recently, and the book was so great. I thought, well, I've got to give the TV show a watch and see how it goes. And it does, the majority of the time, follow the same line as the book if you have read American Gods by Neil Gaiman. However, it does take it into, you know, much like films do and TV shows do, it takes it down different paths, it does its own thing, but it is just so odd and crazy. If you're into something a little bit unique, almost kind of like a cult viewing, essentially, then I would recommend this one. It follows a character called Shadow, who just recently gets out of prison to find out that his wife has died. He meets a man called Wednesday, who does turn out to be one of the gods, and he starts working with him to get together all the gods in a war. There's going to be a war between the new gods and the old gods, and it just follows the journey that they take to go and try and almost collect the gods for their battle. There are 2 seasons of this at the moment on Amazon Prime. I believe there are still more going to be made as well. It is very weird. It is good, but very strange. So do keep that in mind if you decide that's something that you want to watch. It is one of those odd shows, but it is good. So give it a chance. Number 9 on the list, coming towards the end, I thought I'd go with a classic show that a lot of people will know, and that's Desperate Housewives. 8 seasons of Desperate Housewives are on Amazon Prime to watch now, so if you're someone who watched that when it first came out, which I know my mum did and I did as well, then this is a perfect opportunity to go back and get some nostalgia and rewatch all those episodes that you loved. If you haven't seen it before, obviously it is about housewives, specifically in a place called Wisteria Lane. Very, very close, but as you would expect from a kind of close place like this, not everything is as it seems. A lot of kind of secrets and crimes and hidden romances, all that kind of stuff that you would expect from a drama like this. It's also very funny as well, but it's just a very kind of traditional, like One Tree Hill, OC, that kind of style-esque program that you would have watched kind of early 2000s. It is a brilliant show. It is a classic. I would class it as a classic. It is a very, very good show. So if you're looking for that nostalgia to watch again, or you're looking for something new that should be classed as a classic, then this is a fantastic program to watch. Number 10, the final one, is actually one that I haven't seen either, but I was going to recommend because maybe it will actually make me watch it. And that's a show called The Marvellous Mrs Maisel. This is a Prime original series. It has won an Emmy Award, it is critically acclaimed, and obviously it's a show that everyone should be watching. It's set in the late 50s. It follows a character called Miriam Maisel, or Midge as she's also called. She kind of has everything that she wanted. She has the family, the husband, the life that she wanted, but it kind of takes a surprising turn when she realizes that she has a talent, a hidden talent she didn't know, of stand-up comedy. So this then follows her in her journey of being a stand-up comic. The show itself is a kind of comedy drama, and it just looks great. The trailer looks good, and all the reviews say it's brilliant. There are 3 seasons of this show as well, so again, a lot of watching, especially for an original series. Another reason you should be watching it, and I definitely am going to watch it, is because it's created by Amy Sherman Palladino, who did Gilmore Girls, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, which I am still watching right now. Okay, that's everything for this week. If you like the video, please like and subscribe below. Really helps the channel. As always, if you have your own recommendations, please feel free to comment below or send me a message and we'll see if we can fit it into another episode. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.